beautiful late afternoon in West Los Angeles, and the perfect setting for this car. It's a 1932 Ford 5-window coupe. It is all Henry steel. It's a neat SoCal hot rod. The current owner, part of a prominent collection, has owned this car for about 10 years or so. He's refined it just a little bit, but hasn't changed a lot. And the owner prior to him, Mike Russell, is a well-known California hot rodder that owned it for over 20 years. So it's been a SoCal hot rod for more than 30 years. It's had a beautiful body. It has excellent patina. We're going to walk around and we're going to kind of give you a feel about the car and so on and so forth. But it's done much like a hot rod would have been done in the 40s or 50s. It's a 59 AB flathead V8 car. It's a 39 Ford transmission and a 34 Ford rear differential. We'll have all that other specs and stuff if you hang on to the video here where we'll cover more. I just want to get the basics on it as we walk through it. But you'll see a lot of neat period things, and you'll see some patina or age that's deliberately left on the car. So it's not perfect, but it's not intended to be perfect. I would call it perfect character. Anyway, it has the cycle fenders are custom made for it, much like they would have done back in the day. They're actually created from a 35 Ford spare tire cover. They're beautiful. He's actually refinished them and reworked them a little bit. So it kind of keeps the rain from flying up on you. It's definitely a highboy coupe. Some neat things, that knee-high bottle. It's got the guide lamps on it right here. Has the turn signal and parking lights here with the shark nose lens on it. Has a non-split wishbones in the front and the rear. So it's much like Jenny would have had it, you know, like Ford would have had it at the time, but this is kind of the hot rod version. We'll actually get more into the detail. There's some period backing plates on the 42 Lincoln Juice brakes on the front that are an early racing version that I hadn't seen before. Beautiful 32 Ford grill shell. We'll get it right and walk around here. Firewall, but the body's actually very nice on this car. The body's been lifted off the car, and the whole underside has been sandblasted and finished the same color of the car, black. So it's a very nice body. You'll actually be able to get a glimpse of the firewall or the wood structure right there as part of it. It's very nice firewall. Working factory cal vent, not chopped, not filled, and again, deliberate light patina, so on and so forth. 46 Ford hubcaps and trim rings on it. I've got a little cheat sheet in my hand that I keep referring to from time to time because there's no way I'm going to remember everything as I do this, but a lot of it is off the cuff. Flip out windshield, or like it's supposed to be. The rear window cranks down. You can see I've got the rear window down there a little bit. Drip rails are all still in place. Non-filled roof. The doors shut on this, just absolutely beautiful. And it has these bob fenders are actually steel, and they're reworked from original 32 Ford fenders. They've been cut, and that's how they did a lot of the high boys back then, to keep the law away from you and keep from shooting a bunch of stuff all over your car. We're gonna get inside here. The doors are really, really open and shut. Super nice. You gotta dig a car like this because you know what? It's just the kind of car you want to go drive, and you know, you feel like you're American Graffiti, that kind of style. You see the rivets into the wood right here on the structure of the body. It has a LeBaron Bonney interior in it, so it's got a mohair type upholstery in it right here. I'm going to put this back underneath my arm here. It has a vintage slip-over seat cover. I think, what era is that? He told me what era that was. It's a vintage period slip-on seat cover. It's a 1950s NOS 50 slip-over original. It's got an original seat frame on it. So this is an original car. It's an original dash. You're looking at that. Really neat marble shifter, German square weave carpet. Up underneath the dash, it's been converted to 12 volt, but it's got an all new cloth wiring in it that's extremely well done. 1940 standard steering wheel there. It's an original steering wheel. It's not a reproduction. So a lot of the stuff you're going to see on this car is all Jenny style stuff or period speed stuff. We will spend some time underneath the hood when we get back to it here. If you hang on to more in the video, we'll actually cover some stuff for you here. So it's got the LeBaron Bonney mohair style interior headliner. Actually, the dome light works like it's supposed to. I tested it. The switch over here on the passenger side, I don't have the key on. When the key's on, it does what it's supposed to do. The rear window cranks down. I cranked it down. We'll crank up these windows so you get a chance to see. Still had just a little bit of patina and age. This is original Ford glass, I believe. Watch this door. It's like shutting a bank vault, just beautiful. Anyway, we're gonna step back and let you take a look at it. Gas shocks in the front, knee action shocks in the rear. We'll cover that with you. Non-split wishbones. Factory style rear differential just a couple years later. Parts and pieces is how these hot rods from the 40s and 50s were put together, and this will give you a really good feel of how they were. So the style is exactly period. 50s Olds taillights. But again, this has been a hot rod in SoCal for over 30 years. It's a very, very neat car. Good character, good pedigree, juice brakes in the back, 42 Lincoln juice brakes in the rear. We covered a lot of the stuff under the hood and the transmission in another section of the video, so we're going to get there. Just sweet. It has a rumble seat. We actually will open up the rumble seat area for you there and share some more here shortly. Just again, hang on to the end of the video. Ford F1 steering box, typical thing that a lot of guys did. We're going to open it up. Nice patina on the door handle. So it's got light patina on the body, which is something that you really wouldn't want to change. Drip rails are still in place. Crank up the driver's side window here so you kind of get a feel for that. When I sit down, I'll make sure I go over my list here and didn't miss anything, and we'll talk about it a little bit more. We'll also take it for a sweet drive just around the block to show you how the gears work. They work great. Fires right up, cool ride. You can see that the this is an original 40 standard steering wheel. It's got patina and age. The gauges on it, it's got an early signal stat turn signals, which works. I forgot to point out that all the turn signals do work. He did put a third brake light in the rear here at the license plate light, so it's subtle, kind of hidden. Door jamb to door jamb, kind of minimal age and deliberate patina that you would expect. Let's call it character. I dig it. Anyway, I like cars like this. They're fun to do. If cars could tell a story, what kind of story would they tell? You gotta wonder. It's got early Stewart Warner, kind of a combination of early gauges, and much like they did back in the day, is the guys didn't go buy a set of gauges. They'd find, they'd be at the swap meet and they'd find a Stewart Warner volt gauge or amp gauge, and then, you know, so on and so forth. But several different, right in the same period though. There's a wing Stewart Warner. Here's the Stewart Warner SW insignia, early Speedo. This is the start button right here. Early Stewart Warner down here. It's got a vacuum gauge and a water temperature gauge. We've been running, the temperature's fine. The gearbox shift's really nice. I showed you the water on the other side, or the wiring on the other side. A pull string clock, an original Ford mirror clock here that's just neater than neat. You got to dig these, so you'll see the patina and age and a little bit of the mirror finish coming off the back side of it. Just really neat. I know you're probably listening to me here, but if you're looking for a cool car like this, then it's worth me covering everything that I can find about it. The windows roll up and down nice, the doors shut nice, the floor pans are rock solid, the structure's beautiful, and it's the kind of car you can drive. I'm going to roll down this window on the driver's side and shut the door. Make sure I didn't miss anything. Unchopped stock body with rumble seat, original stock firewall, Calvan, all the things. It's got guide 682C headlights with turn signals with the shark nose parking lights, a 50 Olds tail lights, discrete third brake light. And here's what I'm referring to, which is included with the car. There's a full file on the car that's going to come with it. More drop front axle. I'll actually cover that all on the undercarriage here. It is a Jenny frame and chassis and body, So the VIN's an 18 VIN, so it's an original V8 car. We're gonna stop right here. I'm gonna hop out and I'm gonna let you get in, and then I'm gonna get back in and we're gonna fire it up for you and we'll take it for a spin. But this is the part of the video that I tell you to definitely hang on to the end of the video for more. Fun car. It's about time you get in, hang on to the end of the video, and go to Spud's. Promise we're going to spend a little bit more time telling you about the mill that's hiding between these rails. This is a great run-on little car. It's a 59 AB flathead V8, 24 stud heads on it. It has Edelbrock script cylinder heads on it. It has an early patent pending Thixton intake manifold. We'll go around the other side and tell you all about that. It has a Beehive oil filter, or it's called a Filcurator. It's an original Beehive oil filter assembly. Neat little Ford Bakelite ignition coil right here. Crab style distributor. Neat coolant recovery, knee-high beverage coolant recovery bottle. A lot of what's done here is much like it would have been done back in the day. Pieces put together, so on and so forth, and Thixton air filter housing, which is just beautiful. Stromberg 97 carbs. That is a 12-volt generator, so the car has had all the wiring renewed, and it's been updated with 12-volt generator on it. This is a 32 Ford radiator. These are original 32 Ford radiator tanks, top and bottom. And they have installed a new core in it, but it's basically a 32 Ford radiator that's been recored. It has Red's nickel-plated headers, premium headers, tri-wise is what they're called at the time, and they connect to dual exhaust. This thing has a great sound. We're going to share it with you. Has a lightened flywheel. When you crank this over, boy, it just wants to run. So it's got a nice feel to it. 39 Ford gearbox, 34 rear differential with 355 ratio. So it's got long enough legs that you can take it out and take it for a spin. We're going to walk around the other side here. Catch me pausing there. I just wanted to share the firewall with you here and show you how sweet that firewall is on this baby. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. We'll definitely spend more time on the rest of the car. Have a great day, and definitely go to Spud's Garage. I promised we would show you running here just after the engine video where I told you all about it. Listen to this baby run. Grandpa used to tell me if you could put a nickel on the air filter, and I don't have one in my pocket, and it would stay, that it was tuned right. Anyway, neat little flathead V8. You gotta dig that original Beehive oil filter. We'll take you to the back here. We'll let you hear it run. Runs like a Swiss watch. Gentleman that knows flatheads real well, got her tuned up just right. I'm thinking you get the idea. Have a great day. I had to let it go there. Hang on here, we're going to share the rumble seat area for you. Great place to throw your grandkids in there. Don't throw them in there. You can set them in there. Or your kids, so to speak. Ladies just right, you can get down in there too. Anyway, I just like to have a little fun at spudsgarage.com. This is a really neat car. The metal, you can tell this is just a very cool old car. It has light patina and age. I wouldn't call it light, it's got correct patina and age. Again, they don't have to be perfect. Neat car, tons of cool killer style. There's the German square weave carpets in the front also. There's the seat belts mounted. It has seat belts for the driver and passenger. Anyway, hang on to the video. We'll definitely have more. We got you in. We're going to fire it up. You flip this switch over. Well, first you unlock that column. It unlocks the column. You flip this switch over here. You hit the starter button. It's got a light and flywheel. You can definitely tell that. 3-speed manual transmission. We're just going to take it around the block here. The e-brake does work. I just tested it. See if these guys will let me get out of the alley down here. I'm in first gear, which is a good little cruising gear on these babies. West LA, baby, there's a lot going on down here. Beautiful collection this car's in. These kind of cars don't come along too often, guys and girls. So they're always fun and they're always special. Bodies are only original once. The patina you can't duplicate, and the early equipment's neat. Holding the camera in my hand here, I'm going to switch it to the other hand so I can shift it. I'm still in first gear. Anyway, this is the one you want to take down to the boulevard. Take it for a cruise. Your buddies will be jealous because it's just flat cool. Get it? Flathead cool. Second gear, third gear. Beautiful. Brakes work nice. I think I may have got a little water on the car coming out of the car wash there. Anyway, hang on to the end of the video. Go to spudsgarage.com. You always find some unique, cool rides. I'm spend a little bit of time on the chassis and undercarriage for you, and cover the underside of the car, so on and so forth, like we typically do. You're getting towards the end of the video. This will be a fairly long portion though. We're going to share it with you. It has what they typically did back in the 50s. It has 50s and 40s, 50s as a Ford F1 steering gearbox in it that's been mounted to it. The outside steer here. It has I actually have a cheat sheet here on the car. You're looking at the motorcycle fenders that I already talked about before. It has 1942 Lincoln hydraulic self-adjusting brakes on the front, but what it has is very rare. I don't think I've ever seen these before. 4C out of San Jose, California, backing plates on it. They're a 4C Racing, I believe. As we look around here, I was just going over the suspension. It has a more drop front axle, F1 shock brackets, has an original unsplit wishbone, 1937 to 41 front spindles and tubular shocks. You can see it has a multi-leaf buggy spring on it right here. It's been a little time now. This is a body off, so the floor pans have all been sandblasted. We'll get around to that there, and all epoxy painted, body color black. Little patina. It's an original 1932 Ford frame, and it's an 18 VIN. We'll point it out here, 1822208. This is definitely early Ford rails, non-split wishbones. I'm going to walk around here and just kind of keep going on. You'll see where the bones are not split front and rear. That's a 34 Ford rear differential with 355 gear ratio. The exhaust is tucked up nicely underneath. This is the way the cars would have been done in the 40s and 50s. Just a fun car to drive. You can see the floor pans I talked about just a moment ago. They've all been beautiful floor pans on the car. This is all Jenny iron. There's a differential right there. It has knee action shocks in the rear. We'll share that with you in just a moment. We'll actually cover the tire sizes here for you in just a minute. There's the knee action shocks in the rear. Hydraulic brakes in the rear. Also, I believe they're the same vintage of the front. 42 Lincoln self-energizing hydraulic brakes front and rear. I'm speaking up a little bit because I hear some freeway traffic that's bouncing off the building here. You see how the dual exhaust comes off the back. You've probably at this stage already heard it run. We're going to fire it up, that kind of thing. We always do. There's again knee action shock in the rear, so gas shocks in the front, knee action shocks in the rear. The rear end is a 1934. The rear tires here are Firestone 8/20/15 bias ply tires. 1946 Ford hubcaps and rings. Really neat car, part of a very eclectic and prominent collection here in Southern California. Really special to document a car like this. You know what? They don't always need to be perfect, and sometimes it's better that way. This particular car just has beautiful patina. Culture cars or era cars are hot and in. This is a really bitchin' car. Anyway, we appreciate you coming to spudsgarage.com. We'll share those 4C backing plates for you again. I've never seen those before. Anyway, have a great day. Go to spudsgarage.com. You're on Spuds Garage.